I originally wanted to do this as part of when the system originally launched in November, but what the heck, it's now or never. Here is my revisiting of the Wii U, who 10 years later, and why I consider it to be an underrated system. I'm not the only one who thinks this way. I've had mine for at least 7 of those years, so let's begin. It may not have been a huge upgrade from its senior, but it definitely was a noticeable one at the very least. I mean, about on par with the PS3 360. It wasn't quite as beefy as the PS4, Xbox One were. However, it's not just. I don't know, but the Dreamcast comparisons reminded me a lot more of the GameCube. On top of its design being unconventional both externally and internally at least. Likewise, while the quantity of software, like what it was like in the GameCube, may not have been as wide, the quality of it, whenever we did get first-party titles, certainly was. I was not a bit surprised with the ones I spent the most time when I downloaded my stats earlier in the year. Here, like, my system came with Mario Maker, which definitely was the one that officially sold me on the system. Just how flexible the creation was. Everything from a simple normal version of Mario Bros. World War One to an elaborate Kaizo nightmares. Especially liked seeing the new Nintendo World Champion John Numbers and his successful playthrough of the more elaborate stage especially. Of course, Smash Bros. Coming system definitely proved to be a major boon to it. Especially, even though it may not have had the most elaborate story mode compared to its Emissary, the whole board game motif of it actually started quite well, with the trophies being laid out that way. Hey, and sometimes it's just simple things. Little joys. The original 164 did not have a story mode either, but still, I especially liked how how some of the characters played out on that one, as well as some of the environments as well. It definitely was a pretty fun experience and was a game I wasted no time picking up with the system, as well as my Amiibo collection as well, as I'm still going strong today. Again, tournaments. Definitely one of the many games I enjoy playing a 20th anniversary year, even with all the other shenanigans occurring that year. Definitely helped quite a bit. And helps that I definitely like Pokemon, I like Tekken. I definitely enjoyed how not only the best elements of both games were combined into that one, being similar to pick up and play, but tough to truly master. And my mains are, of course, Lucario and Pikachu Libre. And just seeing how that plays out is absolutely stunning. I just cannot begin to say enough how much I love it, and just how I enjoy that so immensely. Hey, and of course, no matter what version it is, I definitely enjoy playing it, and very much looking forward to a sequel after Harada is done with his work on Tekken 8, whenever that ends up being. Of course, one of the console's biggest hits and one of its best games ended up coming in the later years of its life cycle, Splatoon, which ended up getting the whole the company and this new franchise needed the most, and definitely a third of the system's install base. He's definitely got the game. I wasted no time getting it myself when I got mine, and definitely was a very fun, colorful take on the multiplayer shooter, which was a nice little antidote to like the drab and dreary games that the genre was often dominated by at the time, and like how I can appreciate now that more are willing to embrace some of the more absurd elements of the games as well. Because not everything has to be so brutal and bleak all the time. As well. It got two sequels on the Switch, and I would definitely not be opposed to like a DX version of this game on the console either. It's comparison coming in as well in a bit. It was definitely heightened by not only history and ports of some of Zelda's best games, but also arguably making one of its last ones the one of its best to transition towards the Switch, that being Breath of the Wild. I think much like Twilight Princess before, which initially began development as a pure GameCube title before being dual developed for the Wii as well, even a point on the system. I think it was definitely, even after half a decade later, a nice way to start saying goodbye to the system and to say hello to the new one. It also was pretty symbolic in the sense where, in many ways, I submit this console walked so Switch could run, and many of its features, especially with the UI, the control scheme, were integral, well, became integral to Switch itself. I mean, and I am glad for that. I mean, of course I'm still going to hold on to both systems. I'm still attached to my Sega, I mean, come on. So, while this console may have often been looked down on in its time, I am very glad to see also a lot more appreciation for it now. And hopefully, with many of its best games also making it over Switch as well, I think the question in my head would be not if, but rather when the ones on my wish list as would be getting ported to the system as well. I mean, and I'm not the one who holds this mindset, but this is basically what I would submit, like the reasons why I personally considered the Wii U to be an underrated system 10 years later. One more video to close out this year, and you might say it's can look to the stars for it. That'll be all for now, and take care, everyone.